do not judge a book by its cover. A book's worth is determined by the words, sentences, phrases that the author pens, the characters he or she creates, the scenes, the conflicts, the subplots, the twists, and the description, the facts. These are the most necessary aspects to create a story. But in comparison to the size of the book, words are minute and small, almost insignificant. They only seem monumental and full of depth when we, the readers, take the time to read, to dissect, to absorb, and to think. As each word is read and each sentence passed, the book's true beauty is slowly painted onto an empty canvas. Everything else about the book, the cover or its appearance, pales in comparison to the worth of the written words. I believe each individual as representing their own book, a book called life. Each day we live, we write words into these books of ours. It matters not your background, your family, or your status as what the book's cover may come to signify, but rather the important things are the words that you create, the experiences, the decisions, and the choices. Under the most tattered looking book may lay the most beautiful story ever written. However, it only becomes beautiful when the readers take the time to read it and absorb it. The same goes with life. It starts, has a beginning, and ends. We are all temporary and fragile to the elements of nature and time. Sometimes we chase and drive ourselves so much to the end that we want to conclude this story as fast as possible. That's not the real purpose of life. Life is meant to be enjoyed, to be learned from, to be created, to be molded, and to be taken in as a whole. Only then does life become beautiful and fully encapsulated. In my eyes, each individual seated here today, be it my fellow Trinity students, lecturers, staff, or parents, is beautiful in his or her own aspect. Suffice it to say, this year at Trinity College Foundation Studies has been one of the most significant chapters in my life to date. I do not lie when I say I have learned so much more about myself and others in this year than I had in the past 5 years of my secondary schooling life. The class of 2007 shall be one of great memories, dreams, and determination. Each person is so brightly colored, so diverse, so rich, that it is overwhelming. Coming to a school like this makes you see that individuals really do exist. And we are so unique in each of our own characteristics. You see the bindings that hold their pages together, and the kinds of words written about their lives. It is sad that the year has gone by in a blur. Well, good in that exams are over, but sad in that it was so fast. Sometimes I wonder, would it have been better to not stress over an essay assignment or a tutorial sheet and just enjoy the path I'm currently walking, to fully absorb the experience, because I know that if I do not make the most out of it now, I may regret it later. Let me tell you part of my story. The year started with decisions mounting on my back. I was faced with a heavy decision at the end of term 1. I had received an offer of admission for entry into the University of Chicago for the year 2007. Sure enough, I was ecstatic. I was jumping up and down and screaming when I received the decision by email. I was on cloud 9, even if it was only for a moment. As the days passed, the dilemma fully unveiled itself as one of great importance. Should I continue Trinity or further a US education? My future was thrust into my hands. I had to decide what I really wanted in the coming years, what I wanted to pursue, the career I saw myself in, and what I believed my abilities to be. I chose to stay. It wasn't an easy decision in any way, and at times, regret did creep in. But then I looked around at Trinity, at the lecturers, the staff, the people, my friends, my family, and then I realized that it is for the better. By choosing to stay, I completed a pre-university education and gained much more self-confidence in my abilities, whatever they may be. I told myself, I'm writing this page, and I will take up the challenge. And I'm glad I'm still here standing before you, not as an example, but as a representative of each person's own conflicts they may have or experience. Indeed, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I believe I am stronger, and my ambitions and dreams have only but grown. Trinity has prepared me to take on the world. What about you? I have not only gained an education, but learned how to learn. I have found my bindings, the foundations I build my life upon. I have increased the vocabulary of the words I now choose to write myself. And now, life doesn't seem so much as a serious thing, but one of constant change and little pieces. Waking up to see you're 15 minutes late for a lecture and running from Drummond Street all the way to Grafton Street in 3 minutes has its own humor that can only be seen after the pain in your body has subsided. Or running after a tram that is already a block down the street, with friends and watching the expressions of the people watching us. Taking the time to give help when someone asks you, or getting lost when you think that you're going the right way. Performing on stage and making fun of a fool of ourselves in front of an audience, having fun and letting go. Or arguing aimlessly about ridiculous differences to start a conversation. Or lying down on the grass at night to look at the moon and stars. These are the things that I'll remember in my heart. The times I spent with people, the personal connections, and the relationships formed and emotions felt. Now that I think of it, exams seem so small to these things. And now, I am not afraid to try new things, to take on the world even. I may fail, but at least I tried. And I will continue dreaming big and moving towards them, but still remembering the little pieces. What about you? I'm sure each and everyone here has learned just a bit more about life and themselves. Now that the year has come to a close, and a chapter is slowly being concluded, take the time to look back. Not at the regrets and the failures, but at the experiences, the friendships, the love, the hope, and the determination. The aspects that make us all human, yet individual in our own right. The little things that piece the whole story together. We are not perfect and stumble at times, but why do we fall? To learn to pick ourselves up, off the ground, and continue climbing the stairs, one step at a time, but with a dream you are climbing towards. As I close my speech, I would like to leave you with a few questions. Firstly, what is your story? Who are the characters in it? The protagonists, the antagonists, the conflicts, the plots. How are you going to create your story? Second, what words do you use? What words will you use? Your language or languages? Your style? Your figures of speech? Your techniques? How are you going to explain the story? Thirdly, what is the binding holding your book together? What do you base your story upon? What is important in your life? What are the foundations of everything that you are and going to become? Lastly, how thick is your book going to be? How wide and deep is your story? How varied and diverse? How plain or how complicated is your story and epic? We are all capable of something great, something new, something revolutionary, and something extraordinary. These are all stories waiting to be written. Let's seize the moment. We are all already champions and winners, my friends. We survived school. But we should not stop there. Let's go further and run towards a greater dream and achievement. The end of one part of life is the beginning of a whole new journey. Let me end with this quote from Louisa May Alcott. Far away in the sunshine are my highest aspirations. I may not reach them, but I can look up and see the beauty, believe in them, and try to follow where they lead. And that is how I will live my life. Thank you.